Welcome to Strategy Saturday. I'm Charles Carillo, and today we're going to be discussing landlord-friendly estates versus tenant-friendly estates. So if you've listened to the show, you know that when we're talking markets, I make a big deal about if it's in a landlord-friendly market or a tenant-friendly market. And it's one of the main factors we use when we're deciding what markets to invest into, what state they're located in. As a landlord that has owned properties in tenant-friendly states and landlord-friendly states, governments in landlord-friendly states work with landlords instead of against them. It's really an even playing field in a landlord-friendly state. Now, I operate and invest on the principle of going where I'm treated best. I moved from Connecticut to Florida in 2012, and I've not invested in a tenant-friendly state since 2009, and I have no plans of changing that. Now, how do I know if a state is landlord-friendly? Well, easiest way is to find out when did COVID eviction moratoriums end there. Now, most landlord-friendly states ended their statewide moratoriums in 2020, while others will still have eviction moratoriums for many years to come. Check NOLO.com. I'll put that link into the show notes. There's a wealth of information on researching landlord-tenant laws. Next is, other than COVID eviction moratoriums, landlord-friendly states prohibit rent control. Now, allow landlords freedom in how much of a security deposit they can require, time to return that deposit, non-payment time frame before filing an eviction, and required time frame for filing evictions for other violations. In tenant-friendly states, you will find all these points skewed in the tenant's favor. Now, a simple example is in Connecticut. Rent was not late until after the 10th of the month. That's a 10-day grace period that I didn't have a choice on. It was set by the state. In Florida, the grace period is up to the landlord and should be stated in the lease, but most leases don't have a grace period. For all the ones I rented when I was in Florida, there was no grace period, meaning rent is due on the 1st, and if not paid, landlords can provide tenant with a written notice to pay the rent or quit, and that's not something you're able to do right after the due date. In Florida, you need to provide 12 hours of notice to enter an apartment in non-emergency situations compared with 48 hours in notice in Vermont. So if you're showing an apartment with a tenant still in there and something like this, and you have to give them 2 days notice instead of just 12 hours. You will find that most landlord-friendly states in the Mid-South and Southeast, Texas, Arkansas, Alabama, Florida, Louisiana, Arizona, South Carolina, Wyoming, Mississippi, these are all landlord-friendly states. Now, most tenant-friendly states are in the Northeast or on the West Coast. New York, California, Oregon, Washington State, Vermont, Delaware, Rhode Island, and Maine. Now, in closing, non-landlords may see landlords as being greedy by focusing their investment into only a portion of states. But when we invest our money and when we accept investor funds, we need to have as much control as possible when managing and repositioning the asset. And tenant-friendly states just do not provide this. I choose to invest and live where I am treated best, and I suggest you do the same. So thank you so much for listening. Hope you enjoyed. Please remember to rate, review, subscribe, submit comments and potential show topics at globalinvestorspodcast.com. Look forward to 2 more episodes next week. See you then.
Nothing in this episode should be considered specific, personal, or professional advice. Any investment opportunities mentioned on this podcast are limited to accredited investors. Any investments will only be made with proper disclosure, subscription documentation, and are subject to all applicable laws. Please consult an appropriate tax, legal, real estate, financial, or business professional for individualized advice. Opinions of guests are their own. Information is not guaranteed. All investment strategies have the potential for profit or loss. The host is operating on behalf of Syndication Superstars LLC exclusively.